When I first published the Strategy and Tactics of Pricing in 1987, it was really the first book on that really addressed pricing strategy in pricing in a strategic way. And that led to my going around to a number of universities and talking with faculties about the ideas there. And at one of those talks, one of the very senior faculty members asked a question at the end of the talk that was both very insightful about what I was doing, but at the same time was also indicative of the problem that, that marketers have with pricing. And what he said is, he said, Tom, you know, you've done a really good job in telling some stories and writing this in a lively way, but isn't all this stuff you're calling pricing strategy really just marketing strategy packaged in a different way from a different perspective? And I thought about that for about 30 seconds. And what I came back to him is I said, Ben, you're absolutely right. What we're talking about here is really marketing strategy. But we're talking about all those things in marketing strategy that marketers usually miss, and as a result, do a very good job in creating value, but do a lousy job in capturing any of that value and getting it into their pockets. Increasing profitability does not follow naturally from simply better meeting the needs of customers. You have got to proactively create that connection between creating value for customers and the revenues that you're going to be taking in. And if you don't proactively create that connection, then there's a lot of customers out there who will be happy to to create a different kind of connection that will tie your profitability to something like their power or costs or anything but the value you're creating. So with that, then let's talk a little bit about what's really required to make the connection between value and profitability. And we describe this, I illustrate it as the pricing pyramid. And at the top of the pyramid is the price level. And unfortunately, that's what most of us think about when we're dealing with pricing. It's like, you know, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to optimize this price level, and I'm trying, of course, to get it higher. And there's nothing inherently wrong with thinking about pricing from the standpoint of demand optimization, except for the fact that by the time you get to that point, you've really missed most of your opportunities to drive profitability. So very often when we're working with clients for consulting projects, they'll send out an RFP and they'll get 2 proposals from a software company that want to sell them an optimization package. And they'll get 2 proposals from a marketing research company that want to sell them a conjoint, and they're going to build an optimization model. And then they'll get a proposal from us that doesn't have anything to do with setting the price level. And they'll say to us, you know, this is very strange. You know, why is it that you responded to this in such a different way? And our response is always, well, just from talking with you a little bit, we didn't get the sense that the demand that you were facing out there in some way tied to the customers fully realizing the value of your product, the customers having a belief that they were going to have to pay for the value of your product, that your price structure was aligned in such a way that different customers receiving different value would pay different amounts, and that you'd in fact designed the product offering in such a way that rather than creating just good technology, you were really creating good value for each of the individual segments. Now, if that's true, then really you should do an optimization. But if that's not true, then you've got a lot more fundamental things about pricing strategy that you've got to deal with before you get to the point of being really able to set the price. Okay? So with that, what I want to do is talk with you about those other 4 levels that drop right below setting the price.